And welcome back, George Norrie with Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, and your questions and calls as well in just a moment. Kimberly, what is the SSP program? How does that work?
The Secret Space program?
Well, something this is tied to you.
Yeah, it's not. It's really tied to everybody. So one of the things early on when I started scanning people after I programmed in some things about what's happening, to people at night, which is a whole nother conversation, was I started, tracing, who is messing with us at night. I mean, when you wake up with needle marks, as I do, when you wake up with bruises, at first, from my background, I attribute it to demonic things, ghosts, things like that. But needle marks, and then, when you take a urine test and you're coming up with all sorts of memory wiping drugs and street drugs, and I don't do drugs, it makes you wonder. So I'm all about physical evidence. A lot of people make all these crazy claims, but I try to kind of scientifically, somewhat track it down as far as I can. So that just led to a whole bunch of things. I have an ex who works for Homeland. I've run into a lot of engineers. I'm sure you've talked to some people from Lockheed Martin who have been kidnapped in the daytime by the Secret Space program and who've, sat at tables with ETs. And so I have a lot of contacts and a lot of friends. So I was able to program a lot of this information into the quantum technology. So now I can scan people and I can tell people, are you involved in the Secret Space program? Yes or no. What corporations do you work for? We don't understand that. And I'm not talking about, Kraft and Nike corporations. I'm talking about Monarch and, corporations like that. Monarch's tied to a little thing we call MK Ultra, which we're all under. And so we're just able to get to the bottom of a lot of things because these frequencies are in your field. Everything that ever happened to you through all time and space is recorded in your field, including what happens when you're sleeping. So, really dug deep in learning a lot. Still learning. I don't know it all, but still learning a lot about the Secret Space program, the 20, 40, 60, 80 and back, all the things Corey Good talks about. A lot of that stuff is true.
Does this kind of complicate things when you're trying to do proper investigations into the afterlife?
Yeah, because, again, and this has been news over the years to me. I started out, demons and angels and ghosts. And now to find out there's just so many energies and, a lot of people, another, conversation we could have all night long is, the incubus and succubus. Almost every single person is coming up being messed with multiple times a week, by the incubus and succubus energies, which is really interesting considering, we're even though incubus and succubus energy isn't about sex, it's about harvesting energy through sex. We're such a sex-obsessed society, and such easy access to sexual material. It's really interesting.
Let's take some calls here for you as they're lining up. Liz Marie is in Fullerton, California, west of the Rockies. She'll be first. Hey, Liz.
Hi, good evening, George. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
When I was on hold, I felt like a spirit was actually here with me, and that freaked me out, and my heart started racing.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And
I'm pretty sure you're right, by the way. I feel that, too, by you.
Okay. And I had a set question, but I wasn't too sure, and now I'm wondering if there's any people or anybody, any people, person, or pets that's crossed over that has any messages for me?
Let me scan really quick. So, wow. Have you seen spirits when you were young, or do you see spirits?
Yes. When I was younger, I used to see colors, and I thought spirits and orbs and things like that.
Yeah, you did. Crazy. So the message is kind of general. You have really strong medium skills. So there's a lot of beings in the fourth dimension, not just what we would call ghosts or human spirits, but actually, and this is going to get kind of woo-woo, but the Sasquatch, Dogmen, fairies, little people, you can actually see all those very easily with some training and with honoring your knowing and your feeling. So all that whole world really wants to connect with you because you have a really nice frequency, you have a lot of light in you, you have a very pure heart, and you have a lot of elemental background in your past life.
Yeah. There's a person in particular that I feel comes to me a little more often lately, and she crossed over about 3 years ago, and I'm not sure if I'm just going crazy or if I think I hear messages from her. Feel messages.
Is she a younger person?
No.
Because there's a young girl by you now, and I don't know if that's someone you know or not.
I think her spirit was more young. She was very vibrant and young-hearted, I'd say.
What is? Can you say her first name, because I can check really quick if she's interacting with you?
Yeah, and when I said that, I felt like there's two different beings. One of them is Darcy.
Yes, Darcy does reach out to you, and she does come to you, yes.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. Okay.
No, you're gifted. You're not crazy. You're gifted.
Okay, thanks, Liz Marie. I appreciate that. When you get these feelings, Kimberly, these impressions, what's happening to you?
Oh, it's hard to explain. It's just I've just done this so long. I can kind of go to her where she is, and I interact with the bean, or I look at the bean. She says there was a bean standing by her, so I kind of project my consciousness there, and I saw a young girl standing by her. So I don't know. That's just it's hard to explain, George, how it works. I've done it so long, I don't even know anymore.
If you saw pure evil next to somebody, would you sense that?
Oh, totally. And unfortunately, I'm kind of an honest person, so I'm going to tell you all about it too. I don't hold back.
Well, I think that's the correct way. By sugarcoating things, it's not going to work.
Although you and I both know that people kind of like sugar-coated things. That's why I'm not everybody's cup of tea, because,
some people are afraid of you being so blunt.
They are. And when people have a scan, they're like, thanks for telling me 1,000 things wrong with myself. I'm like, well, if you wanted, I can also tell you 1,000 things right with you, but what good is that going to do?
Next up.
You want to work on the things that are out of balance, right?
All right, let's go to Kelsey in the state of Washington, first-time caller. Hi, Kelsey. Go ahead.
Hi. I am wondering if my mom led me here for a reason. I take care of my grandma, and I'm just wondering if I'm on the right path, because there's not a lot of security, and I'm just looking for some.
Has your mother passed?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Kim.
Yeah. So, kind of good news, bad news. Your mom is not in the fourth dimension. She has moved on, and she's living a completely other life, not on Earth, but she's very happy. However, you have a lot on you. I just want to encourage you. What's coming through really strong for you, and it may be from your mother, is you need to take care of yourself. So you can take care of your grandma. You need to have self-nurture. You need to have time for yourself. Even if you don't have to be wildly wealthy to take time for yourself, to go sit in a park, to, have some quiet time, to go out for a cup of coffee with a friend. But you have a lot on you. I can feel that burden on you, and you need to carve out time for yourself. You're doing a wonderful, wonderful thing. You have a really, really sweet, pure spirit, and you're doing a wonderful thing, but you do need to take care of yourself.
Follow up, Kels?
Yeah, I bite off. I don't know. Yes, I do need to take some time for myself, and I guess I was wondering if I needed to get a job or help keep helping my grandma. So, yeah. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Job or help the grandma? What do you think, Kimberly?
I think she needs to. Well, I think she needs to, if she can, do both. I think there's a way to do both. Maybe a part-time job. Again, carving out some time for herself, a friend circle for herself. That's a lot, for a younger person to have that responsibility.
When you call in to talk to Kimberly, we'll give you an opportunity to ask a follow-up question to your initial question in case you have a question on some of the things that she's saying to you. When you're getting these impressions from people, like you were talking about the Liz Marie, you felt a younger person by her. What are you feeling? Explain that to us.
Well, in her case, I actually saw the younger person, also frequencies. So because I've worked with frequency technology for like 30 years, and really we are the machine. We're not supposed to give ourselves over to technology. We're supposed to kind of take the best of that, and incorporate it into us. And so I'm just really good at reading frequency. And, you know what's really interesting, George? Do you know that every single thing in your entire energy field, your whole history, is in your voice? So when they ask their question, I'm starting to get a whole feed of information because I can get it from their voice.
Let's go to Aaron in Florida, wild card line. Aaron, take it away.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
I gotta say real quick, Kimberly, that was awesome with like the Liz Marie thing. That was awesome. I'm just hearing it. But anyways, I kind of just wanted to ask you, what do you see like in the next like 5-10 years? Things have been kind of just like, it's almost like at the level of like what's next, and like, so like what's next? Where do you see it happening at? And yeah, just kind of, yeah, take it away.
Yeah, give me a sec. I want to look at your timeline. All right. So in 10 months, hold on.
Where'd you go, Kim? Where'd you go?
No, I'm going into the timeline. Sorry, it takes me a second. So in about 10 months, there's something new coming. I almost think it's a new relationship, and I'm not sure if you're open to that or not, or if you're even interested in that. But in this relationship doesn't mean romantic necessarily. It could be a career opportunity, but it's something pivotal that's going to give you a change or an invitation for change. I don't even know what 10 months from now is. Is it spring, maybe? Not sure.
Does 10 months work for you, Aaron?
Yeah, that'd be freaking awesome.
All right, and I'll give you a follow-up question. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I mean, like, what do you kind of see happen? Like, what career path do you see? Like entertainment, or do you see like something like electrical, or things like that? And like, where do you see it at? Like the location?
I see the location as being somewhere warm or south. Interesting enough, I don't know. Where are you right now?
Florida.
Florida.
Oh, you're already south. So you may be staying close to the same area that you're in. I think the opportunity is going to come to you, maybe not in the same exact location, but in the same general location. You actually have a lot more going for you than you think. Here's your problem, in my opinion. You have to know what you want to create what you want, and I don't think you know what you want. So instead of kind of waiting for something to like fall on you, which something's going to kind of fall on you in 10 months, I would also spend some time really getting quiet and deciding what you want, because you're actually a pretty powerful creator. And that, if you get really, decide what you want, combined with this opportunity, I think you're going to be on a completely different path. And you need to stay in your body. So practice doing grounding things, because that's going to actually manifest what you want quicker.
You're almost like a psychologist, Kimberly. You know that?
I didn't know I never said that before. I'm a mom. That works.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate you being part of the program. Let's take a few more calls before the break. We're talking with Dr. Kimberly McJordan. What's the doctor in?
It's naturopathic medicine. I had a clinic one time.
Good for you. That's an important thing. Let's go to Todd in San Antonio, Texas. Hey, Todd, welcome to the program.
Hey, George, thank you for taking my call.
Thank you. What's your question, sir?
My wife passed away last July. In February, I met a new love, and we're now engaged, and I just wonder how that's going to work out.
I feel like I'm not being offensive when I say this, but there's still such a strong bond between you and your wife. And I think in order for your new relationship to work out, there needs to be a little bit of a ritualistic deciding, or even just a decision in your mind that you need to kind of, I almost don't even want to tell you this. I believe your wife is waiting for you.
What do you mean by waiting for him?
You know how I told you how some people leave the fourth dimension, George, and go on, and just like the young girl's mom, isn't here anymore. I mean, she checks in, but she's not here. She's
moved on. She's moved on. You're saying she hasn't moved on.
Your wife is waiting for you. I like I said, I'm honest to a fault. So I think there's some issues in that relationship being a full partnership, both between you and your wife, because just because someone's got a body doesn't mean they're not 100% present. and able, and you can talk. I think you know this. I think you do. I think she visits you. I think you have dreams about her. I think you feel like you have contact with her. And I'm telling you, all those feelings are 100% true. So I think you and her need to decide, what position this relationship has. She definitely wants you to be happy, but I don't know if you guys made an agreement for her to wait for you, but she's waiting for you.
Follow-up question, Todd?
That was kind of my follow-up question. I was wondering if she had anything to do with putting me together with someone else, but it sounds like you kind of answered it.
I don't know. Do you feel like, what I'm getting from the heart bond that you guys had is you guys were pretty connected, and, no relationship's perfect, but there's a deep connection there, and it's still there. And that needs looked at and evaluated. And just my opinion, none of my business. It may be a little too early. Just, you may want to just not rush to marriage and just, process a little more.
And are you saying that for Todd's benefit or for the benefit of the wife who passed on?
Everyone's benefit, including his fiance, because if I was engaged, I would want someone who was almost 100% emotionally available. I've dated a man who lost his wife, and it's a challenge if, those ties aren't clear, cut, and moved on.
Are you saying well, how much time do you have to wait before you move on?
See, I'm going into him, and I can merge with him, and I can merge with her, and I can merge with fiance, and I just can feel the energetic bond. There's a courting. There's a literally courting. Just because someone dies doesn't mean the cords go. There's a courting. You guys are connected. You guys are married, in my opinion, still.
Interesting take. Okay, well, good luck there, Todd, and if there's anything we can do to help you, check back with us. Well, you are blunt, Kimberly.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I told you, sir.
Say it the way you feel, that's for sure.
Mm.
When you were doing your naturopathic medicine, that's very important. I've always been a believer in mainstream medicine and natural, and a combination of them really works well.
Yeah, it does. I totally agree. Conventional medicine saved my life. When I had an ectopic pregnancy, I'd be dead if it weren't for, the skilled surgeons in emergency medicine. 100% fan of both, for sure.
My gosh, that would have been a disaster for you. Painful, too.
Yeah, especially, yeah. Yep.
And you've got, 4 children now?
I do. 4 grown children, 4 girls.
What's the oldest? What's the youngest?
My youngest is 21 and my oldest is 30.
All right. Tell us about your website real quick. Secret to everything. When people go to your website, what do they see?
Yeah, secrettoeverything.com. They can have email readings, one-on-ones. We have some free products. We're going to have a lot more free products, a contact form, a bunch of stuff.
When you talk about free products, what are we talking about?
I think there's some free classes up right now. We're gonna put up a ton of I've been teaching for 10 years, so we're gonna start really putting up some good stuff, free material. I really feel, I know this goes against the grain, but I believe, we're rising, we're awakening, and I just want to contribute as much as possible to that.
All right, we're going to come back and take some final calls with Dr. Kimberly McGeorge in just a moment on Coast to Coast AM. And welcome back, George Norrie, Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. Kimberly, when you've been giving readings in your career, have you ever had an entity come at you because you were tapping into them or something like that?
Definitely. Absolutely. Multiple times. Again, it's just being aware, getting rid of it quickly or, stopping it before it starts. But yeah, for sure. I'm not immune.
How do you ward them off? What do you go through?
Well, it's really being conscious of your energy space and, not allowing them in. I can casually, people always say they have to go to graveyards and all these haunted houses to find, ghosts and entities, but there's actually more in your grocery store and your local Walmart. I've had clients get jumped from picking up the wrong plant in the grocery store. So, Again, there's just this whole crazy world out there that we just aren't taught. And if you can't see it, you don't know it. So, being aware, I can walk in Walmart unaware, or I can walk in Walmart with kind of my barriers up, so it just depends on, sometimes I act like I'm just the same as everybody else, and I pay for it too.
Let's go to Rick in Massachusetts to get started. Go ahead, Rick.
Hey, George. Hey, Kimberly. How are you guys?
Great. Hope you are too.
I've been trying. I talked to George a couple of times with a couple of guests, but I'm a empath, paranormal investigator. I've had a few attachments in the past, and I've been going through quite some chronic illness, and I just don't know. It seems like, I don't know if something is still causing it, if it's just, natural causes, I guess, or what's happening from here, if it's going to get better, or, what I'm going to do next, I guess.
How does he ward off these illnesses, Kimberly? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually going to offer you my help if you want to get a hold of me on my contact form. I'm going to scan you, and I'll clear you tomorrow if you want, if there's anything there. I'd like to look at you a little bit closer than we have time for on the air. Okay.
Now, how does he find you?
He can just go to my website. There's a contact form, or he can write support at KimberlyMcGeorge.com. I'd like a picture and your birth date so I can scan you.
And remember his name, Rick from Massachusetts, okay?
Yeah, thank you, Rick. Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you.
Good. What kind of ailments do you have, Rick?
Well, it seems I've been dealing with like a mold toxicity. But it's been like a thing that's kept happening in my basement. And, I am pretty sensitive. One time it kept getting floods. And like one time when there was water down there, I saw like these little, very small, like shadow creatures, but only probably 2 feet tall, maybe. Yeah, and I haven't seen them recently, but like I said, I've been prone to, I know 3 attachments. One I could definitely feel. It took me over from a location. So I just don't know, if it's been about 12 years I've been suffering. I lost, 3 of my businesses. Basically, I just deliver papers at night right now. So.
Are you doing anything to remediate, Rick, the mold inside or outside? Because you have to, if you have mold outside, you have mold inside because you're breathing that in. Because all mold is like black goo, and black goo is AI. So this has an AI component. So it may be trickier than just like an entity component. You may be rather entwined with AI too.
Definitely send her an email, though, Rick, and hopefully she can work on that for you. It's a nice service that you provide, Kimberly.
Oh.
You still do a lot of naturopathic work?
I do. People, want to know what their purpose is and if they're going to meet the love of their life. But absolutely, we have, my full scan is comprehensive. You're going to get it all. You're going to get, health and programming and your emotions and, childhood and relationship. You're going to get it all. So, but I do a lot of work. I do a lot of work on animals, too.
Let's go to Randy in Florida, east of the Rockies. Welcome, Randy. Randy, you there?
Yeah.
Go ahead with your question. Go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead with your question.
Yes, my brother passed away in my mother's house, and later he passed away, and then we moved into the home, and it became a rental, and then everybody that lived in the home after that said that they had occurrences in the home, and now the home is empty. We've sold the property, and I'm wondering, has he moved on, or is he still there?
No, he's there.
He'll stay with the property? Go ahead, Kim.
Yeah. You said it's sold. I would have encouraged you to go talk to him. He really probably would be happier moving on, especially if the family isn't there. He's very, very, very attached to that location.
Why do souls or ghosts stay attached to places like that?
Because they don't. If you don't know, you don't know. Like, what else do? You only know what you know. I mean,
do they know they're dead?
They know that. Well, not always. No, and and again, I hate to do this because my kids always get on me. But I mean, again, if you write I'll help you with a situation. I'll help him move on if you want. So no charge, just write me and I'll help.
But what if he moves on? Where does he move on to?
I'll talk to him. He's going to move on to something amazing. Don't worry about that. I'll help him.
Do you believe in heaven?
I believe I believe, well, I have a picture of a ship that NASA says is the heaven ship, so how can I not? I have the evidence that looks exactly how the Bible describes it, like that NASA has given us. Have you seen that picture, George?
I've heard about it, yes.
So it's pretty, so I don't particularly want to go there. No offense to anyone, but I do believe that a place like that exists, yes.
Let's go to Jeremy in North Dakota. Hey, Jeremy, you're on. Go ahead.
Hello, Kimberly. On December 8, 2003, I was in a near-fatal auto accident, and I developed a website to tell the world about it. And George let me give the URL out, and I was contacted by George, coast-to-coast listener, via email from my website, and her and I started conversing, and then we started text messaging, and then she actually called me a couple times. And her name is Veronica, and she lives in Alberta, Canada, and I want her soul forever. Is that going to happen?
Meaning you want a relationship with her?
I want a relationship that'll develop into a forever bond between us.
A soulmate forever, Kimberly.
I'm going to say it's a solid maybe, because here's the thing with soulmates. It's a two-way street, and
definitely.
I don't know if she knows how you feel or, what your communication level is now, but it doesn't seem like 100% locked. No. Is it a possibility? Yes. But there needs to be action taken on both sides to make that happen.
Jeremy, have you met yet?
We've only conversed on the phone. She's actually given me a phone call a couple times, and her name is Veronica, and she lives in Redwater, Alberta, Canada.
Well, don't say too much. She may be listening.
That's true, too. Yeah, so it's a possibility, but there definitely needs to be movement in this. And you guys would be new soulmates if you're soulmates, but this is not a lock. You need to, obviously to have a relationship, there needs to be progress. So you need to move forward in some way, but it is a possibility. It's not a no.
Kimberly, where does God fit into the equation here with all this?
I don't. It's so funny me saying this because I grew up Christian, went to Christian school, went to Christian college, but I do no longer believe in necessarily a God. I do believe in the all. I do believe in kind of in what some people call God, but I don't believe in any individual entity being called God. That's just my personal. I feel like I've learned too much to believe in God. I don't know if that makes sense. And I'm well versed in the Bible. Like I said, I grew up. My dad's a pastor, but I chose 3 years ago kind of to. I consider all religion programming, and I'm kind of in the consciousness movement now, I guess.
Let's go to Klaus in the state of Washington, west of the Rockies. Klaus, welcome to the program.
Yeah, hi there. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure thing, Klaus.
Hi. I'm wondering if you can contact my higher guides or my deceased parents for some words of wisdom. My question is about a long-standing sibling dispute that resulted in an inheritance lawsuit that is going on right now. But the fighting is going on already 18 years, I would say.
Wow.
When my mother started getting dementia, and we had to take responsibility for her. So I wonder if there's any words of wisdom on how I could get my sisters to genuinely reconcile our emotional injuries on a sincere level, because they have refused that. And now this whole dispute and distrust resulted in a legal case. And the money is really secondary to me. I think my parents, it would be more in the spirit of our parents if we could reconcile on a heart level, because then the dispute around the money would settle itself. But I think it would be in the spirit of my parents if we could just, find a way of settling this and becoming friends again.
Do you see the siblings doing that at all, Kim?
I do, but not super soon. The problem is we can't control other people, and although your heart is amazing and it is very sincere in your desire, you can ask your, I would ask my soul family. I haven't looked at your soul family, and I'm not going to do it on the air, but I would ask your soul family for help in this, and their soul families, your sister's soul families, for help in this. Soul families aren't magic genies, but again, we have not because we ask not, and there are, they are outside this reality often, and they do have creative solutions that we can't always see. You might want to try something else. You might want to go, and this is an imagination exercise, and I can't teach it fully here, but you might want to go to your sister's spirits in the astral and have conversations with them, and it may soften them up, because I do see a potential within a year and a half, that there's going to be a softening and some reconciliation. There's deep wounds here, and deep bitterness and contempt and kind of twisted thinking. That's going to take a while to be straightened out. But I would go to your sisters in the astral. And
how do you do that, Kim?
It's an imagination. I do it at night. I do my astral work at night. You lay in bed, you imagine, you picture your sister, you go and you say whatever you want to say in all sincerity and love. And it's very, very interesting what happens in the daytime in 3D reality when you approach someone's oversoul, their higher self, in the astral. And that's my best recommendation.
It's almost like dream communicating, isn't it?
Exactly.
That does work. That is very powerful. I've used those techniques before, and they work with amazing possibilities. Kim, people go to your website. We only got 2 minutes left. Tell us about some of the things that they can do.
Right. So like I said, we try to keep things affordable. We have email readings where you can ask, anywhere between 1 and 5 questions with, follow-up like they're allowed to do on your show, and at a very reasonable price. I have monthly groups. And in the monthly groups, we talk about a lot of the topics, you talked about tonight, what are fire creation beings, and, souls, and how to manifest, how to create the life you want, how to break programming, how to integrate altars, how to activate your psychic abilities. I hold live events a couple times a year. You can get on my mailing list. Just kind of try to be comprehensive education. I have a YouTube channel. I put up, I try to answer questions and put up free stuff, as you do too. So you can just drop my name in or drop my business name in. I've been around a while. So.
And Kim, why do you do what you do?
Oh gosh, because I want people to know that they're absolutely so much more powerful than they've ever imagined, and they can break any chains that they think are holding them back and create the life they want.
You seem to enjoy it also.
I do. I'm very passionate about it. You can tell, George.
And where do you go next with this?
I'm not sure. I think I'm going to be doing more live, events. I've been, asked to speak at conferences. I think I'm going to write some more books to make the material more accessible to the general public. I kind of want to leave a little bit of a legacy. I'm getting older, and I won't be around forever.
All right. Well, you take care of yourself, Kim, and thank you for helping our listeners. The advice was very poignant.
Thank you. Thanks for what you do. Thanks.
Dr. Kimberly McGeorge, her website is called secrettoeverything.com, which is linked up at coasttocoastam.com, and you can email her through that website and take advantage of the many things she does. For Dan Galante, Tom Danheiser, Lisa Lyon, Lex Lonehood, Sean Ladesseur, Stephanie Smith, Chris Burrows, Tim Banal, George Knapp, and Ian Punnett, I'm George Norrie. Somewhere out there on Coast to Coast AM. We'll see you on our next edition. Until then, be safe, everyone.